Hey there. Thanks for stopping by Ritualistically. If this is your first time here, my name is Mo and I'm your host. I want to welcome you to the tea party because this is normally where I pour tea, pull tarot cards, read charts, and tell you a story. And today we're diving straight into it because, yes, we are revisiting those mysterious drones. Now, yesterday we cracked open the fact that these drones, they're definitely terrestrial. And let me be clear, they're not just some hobby project buzzing around New Jersey. Nope. This is likely a collaboration between the private sector and covert government operations. Yep, so covert, even the Pentagon's in the dark. We're talking about that level of secret. So today, we're pulling back the curtain even more. Let's unpack what's really going on here and why you need to pay attention. And before we dive in, remember COVID? Remember how obedient the world's population was when things got real weird? Yeah, file that away for later. Now, let's start with this little gem, Aquarius energy. This is the chart. This is where we're going to begin. We're going to enter through here. And what do we encounter right away? Right here on the ascendant, Aquarius. Aquarius is often typed as the humanitarian, the freedom lover, the forward thinker. And sure, when it's all sunshine and rainbows, that tracks. But every sign has its shadow. And Aquarius, it can manipulate with the best of them. And here's the deal. Aquarius is ruled by two planets, Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is all about control and structure and limitations and discipline, basically the boss. Uranus, on the other hand, is chaos wrapped in innovation, bringing disruption and rebellion. When Aquarius wants to work the system, it uses both. Imagine Saturn building the machine while Uranus rewires it in secret. And don't forget, Aquarius is the sign of detachment. That's their superpower and their weapon. They can step back, disconnect from emotions, and manipulate people or systems just enough to make it seem like they're the good guys. They're not just controlling the game, they're designing the rules. Now let's look at those drones. Why are they popping up? Who's behind them? The chart we pulled yesterday showed this whole thing is deeply tied to covert communication, military activity, and big data. Surveillance vibes, anyone? Add in Aquarius energy, ruler of networks, groups, and technology, and you've got a recipe for manipulation on a global scale. And here's where I need you to think critically. These drones, they're not random. They're a test. Think back to 2020, remember? The world shut down and people complied fast. Whether it was fear, trust, or survival mode, we obeyed. Now imagine if that same level of control moved into the skies, tracking us neurologically, biologically, and maybe even socially. Sound far-fetched? Sure. But so did lockdowns back in 2019 and 2020. So here's my question to you. Are these drones just surveillance, or are they setting the stage for something bigger? Could they be part of a long-term plan to centralize control on a global scale? You tell me. So this chart starts off with Aquarius rising right here at the first house at 12 degrees. How fitting. Aquarius is the sign of the collective. Innovation, and let's be real, manipulation disguised as progress. And Venus and Pluto are chilling in Aquarius. There's Venus, there's Pluto. Venus here, she's sweet, pretty distractions. Pluto, that's the puppet master in the shadows whispering, obey. Now, in the second house over here, we have the shadow money game. See, in the second house it's the place of money and values, and we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Translation, hidden funding, murky alliances, and probably a giant check from someone sketchy who works in the water and air department, metaphorically speaking. Think propaganda, gaslighting vibes. Oh, and Saturn here is like, we're building this mess with discipline, folks. Don't ask questions. Let's move on to number 3, the airy, watery spy network. Now, the 3rd house is all about communication, surveillance, intelligence. This is where it gets juicy. See, Aries rules here, and that means Mars is running the show. Mars, aka Mr. Military Industrial Complex, has stationed his troops, Chirons, in there too, retrograde no less, pointing to old wounds being exploited. And don't forget the North Node, also retrograde. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill intel gathering. It's coordinated, calculated, and possibly militarized. Say it with me. Control the mind, control the people. Let's move on to number 4. The origin of these creepy crawlies is the 4th place. The drones? Oh, they're terrestrial, my friends. The moon and Uranus, both retrograde in Taurus in the 4th house, tell us these origins are right here on good old Earth. It's not E.T., it's your neighbor with $1 billion defense contract. The Moon-Uranus combo screams disruptive surprises from your own backyard. Can't wait for the HOA to send out a memo about that. And also, remember Algo, Medusa, the beheading place, the demon star? Remember, Uranus was serenading his love interest? Yeah, that's what's happening here. We're all being serenaded. So let's move on to number 5. Speculation Station. This is the 5th place, and Gemini is busy crunching numbers and feeding speculation. Jupiter's retrograde here, pointing to big plans that aren't exactly forward-thinking. This is where they're brainstorming. How can we use this tech to keep people on their toes, or better yet, on their knees? Oh, let's move on to number 6. Oceans, enemies, and the U.S. angle. This is where we find the part of fortune in Cancer in the 6th house of work and public service. Oceans are involved, and Cancer hints that the U.S., a Cancer nation, also representing the homeland, is playing a starring role. But let's be real, the part of fortune here feels like part of misfortune for the rest of us. The 6th house also points to enemies, open ones. What kind of preemptive threat are we supposedly preparing for? Or is this just another we'll tell you what to fear situation? So let's move on to number 7. Mars and the battle plan. In the 7th house of partnerships, Mars retrograde in Leo has us forming alliances, but are they alliances we can trust? Mars in Leo? That's ego-driven moves dressed up as heroics. And retrograde? Oh, honey, this isn't just backpedaling. This is scrambling to rewrite the playbook while everyone's watching. Let's move on to number 8. The vertex of transformation. The 8th house, and here we have Virgo and the vertex. A major shift is happening here. Something definitive. This house is all about shared resources and, let's face it, secret deals. Who's cutting checks? Who's exchanging favors? I don't know, but the vertex is pointing to someone making moves. Oops, that was spooky. To someone making moves that will change the game. So now we're here at number 9. Foreign messes. In the 9th house, we've got the South Node retrograde in Libra, hanging out with some bad vibes. Foreign partnerships, nefarious deals with others, shady as hell. The 9th house is screaming, we've been duped by the people we thought were allies. Fun. Number 10, the power structure. Scorpio rules the 10th house of government and authority, and its ruler, Pluto, is right back at the ascendant. See him right there? Right there. reminding us who's actually running the show. No planets here, but the message is loud and clear. This isn't about leadership, it's about control. And the 11th house, intelligence on steroids. In the 11th house of networks and community, Mercury and the Sun are in Sagittarius. And oh look, the Sun is sitting at 22 degrees, known as the kill or be killed degree. Let that sink in. The 11th house here, it's a giant digital spider web, and we're all caught in it. And finally, we arrive at the 12th house, the place of the hidden players. The 12th house of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, that's back in the 2nd house. The funding, the planning, the moves, they're buried so deep, you'd need a psychic and a submarine to dig them up. But Capricorn doesn't care if you see it. It's all about business as usual. And here's the takeaway. Is this a global agenda? Oh, absolutely. It's not just about drones. It's about conditioning, prepping us for what? Obedience, compliance in a world where Big Brother isn't just watching. He's flying overhead, collecting data, and maybe even deciding what you're allowed to think. Don't believe me? Look around and remember, 2020. You were all so obedient then. What makes you think they won't try it again? This time with drones. So there you go. I hope that this at least makes you pay attention to the world around you. Anyway, cheers. Enjoy your tea. Come back tomorrow and I'll spill some more. Bye now.